This is a little story about an employer who hates the job search process and how it changed how I do resumes. You want to know what is humiliating? To have a well-known published employer during the social hour at a weekend conference for entrepreneurs buttonhole me in public and tell me that the job search process is a joke and that resumes are ridiculous. That was hard to hear. Now, to be sure, he is not the only employer who feels that way. I've ran into this before. There is a loud, vocal minority of employers. Now, it is a minority, but they are out there that have a vitriolic hatred for anything to do with the job search, especially resumes. But you might want to ask this employer with full justification how he can ignore that 6-ton elephant standing in the middle of the room. Because no matter how much this employer hates the job search process and hates resumes, he still has to hire people. After I shook off my outrage and humiliation, I asked him about his issues with the job search. I asked him what he thought job hunters were doing wrong and what they could improve on. He said he hated resumes because they are not reliable. He said, I hate it when candidates exaggerate, lie, give me fuzzy job descriptions, and then expect me to offer them an interview. He said, I hate it when they throw a bunch of so-called keywords into a resume, and somehow that is to trigger me into giving them an interview. He said he found that insulting. He said job hunters will send the same resume to everyone. They will send them by the hundreds. That tells me they don't care about me, my company, or the job. People should be specific about what they want. He said it is not my job to figure out what you want. He said I will not waste my time with a candidate that does not care if they are the right person for my specific job. Then I asked him, what can I do to appease your dislike for the job search? Do you know a better way to look for a job? Here are some of his responses. He said candidates need to lose the useless one-size-fits-all resumes. He calls them a waste of time. He said you can start by sending me candidates that give a rip about something other than themselves. He said, I want them to care about my industry, care about my company, care about my product, and mostly care about my customers. He went on to explain why employers hate the hiring process. It is time-consuming, expensive, and stressful. Hiring is a giant distraction that steals from productivity. He said it drives employers nuts when candidates waste their time. He said nothing keeps employers up at night more than thinking they hired the wrong person. He said hiring the wrong person is a disaster for an employer. It's like taking one step forward and 10 steps back. He said it's disruptive and distracting. It's an embarrassment for the whole company, but especially for the hiring manager who looks bad in front of his peers and bosses. And he pointed out that if a company is struggling, hiring the wrong person could be another giant nail in their coffin. Then I asked him how he handled candidates who do not show specific interest in a particular job. He said those candidates are dead to me. Good to know. Employers want candidates to target their company. No generic resumes, no shotgun approach. Employers want candidates to tell them what job they want. Resumes and cover letters have to be specific for each job applied for. No one size fits all. Employers do not take non-specific, impersonal job seekers seriously. This is how you end up dead on arrival. Employers want candidates who care about the employer, who show interest, who try to connect, who establish trust. We start by acknowledging that employers are busy caring about their own story. They are busy trying to survive and thrive. We approach the employers by making the story about them, not us. We focus on their industry, their company, their product, their customers, and their people. We care about who they are, and they can see and appreciate that. This approach is more engaging, creates interest, and builds trusting relationships. Changing the focus from the job hunter to the employer has made a huge difference in the success of my clients. Thank you for watching. Join us at careershaperresume.com. Subscribe and be sure to leave your comments and suggestions. They do get read. We try to update every week. Ring the bell and we'll see you on the other side.